Today, we're talking about why everything we've been taught about failure is backwards and a simple shift we can put into practice today that turns every failure into something worth celebrating.
Life is beautiful.
We recently got an email that might just be the greatest email that we have ever
It
received.
was a really cool email.
So it came from a teacher who participated in our nonprofit, Blankets of Hope. And if you are tuning into this podcast for the first time or for one of the first times, and you have no idea what Blankets of Hope is, we have been running this nonprofit for the last 10 years. Before starting this podcast, before going full-time into content creation, we made our bones by founding and running Blankets of Hope, which is a nonprofit in a nutshell that teaches kids kindness. And the way that we do that is by partnering with schools across the country to donate blankets and handwritten letters to people experiencing homelessness.
And the quick synopsis and behind the scenes of how that actually works is like Mike said, we partner with schools. We'll send blankets to those schools, and then we put kids through a kindness workshop, which is basically a 3-step process where we get them to practice empathy first, put themselves in the shoes of the people they're trying to help. Then the second part is the actual act of kindness where they write handwritten letters or draw pictures or color them in to attach to their blankets. And then they finish it off with a loving kindness meditation where they send love to themselves, their classmates, and the person about to receive the blanket. And then finally, the teachers will collect those blankets of hope and deliver them to a local homeless shelter in their community. So every kid who participates, no matter if they're 5, 7, 15, makes a direct impact in an individual's life in their community.
Yeah, and the whole idea behind it, the whole mission is to inspire a global movement of kindness. So what we're really trying to do is plant seeds in these students' minds that will eventually blossom into more and more acts of kindness. We want to create this ripple effect. And every now and then, we get these emails from teachers who have participated in Blankets of Hope that prove that this theory that we have of creating this ripple effect is actually happening.
Yeah.
And it always makes our day. But this email was really awesome for one particular reason, and I needed to prep an entire episode about it, which I'm done with.
We've learned something from this.
Exactly. So this email that we got this time was super long. And the reason it was so long is because the teacher who had sent it had copied and pasted the entire email twice within the same email send. And I didn't really think anything of it. It was no big deal for me. But then a few minutes later, I get another email from this teacher saying something that was incredible and shared an idea that I need to share on this episode. She said, "I'd like to thank you for your grace with my little fail-abration moment. In reading your response, I realized I accidentally copied and pasted my email twice. My oops actually made me smile because it's exactly what my fail-abration lessons focus on with our 4th grade students. Fail-abration is based on a children's book and video entitled Fail-abration. It's a joyful book that honors failures, recognizing them as stepping stones in our personal growth. In a very positive and playful way, fail-abration helps transform mistakes into an affirming lesson that helps all to find the joy in trying and learning, even if we don't succeed."
Wow.
I saw that. I was like, what a great concept. Fail-abration. Hell yeah.
That makes me really happy to hear stories like that because teachers are so critical, right? They are shaping the future more than anyone else. And to have a teacher like her that's instilling this wisdom into these kids that like failure is not a bad thing.
It's an opportunity.
It is actually the way that we grow forward is just such a beautiful thing that makes me happy inside.
Yeah, I feel like when we were in 4th grade, we definitely didn't get this treatment. We got the red pen treatment where like they would circle all of your incorrect answers with this big red pen, and when you would get
failure,
when you would get the test score back, you're like hiding it from everyone else. Yeah, so kudos to her for being an amazing 4th grade teacher and really also planting seeds in these kids' minds to change their relationship to failure.
Yeah.
What a beautiful thing.
And the funny thing is that like the most successful people in the world it's really not as impressive their wins, but their failures that they stand on to get to those wins. And
100%.
the best story about this is Sarah Blakely. So she's the founder of Spanx. She started it with $5,000 in her savings account, and she was selling fax machines door to door by day. And eventually she became the youngest self-made female billionaire in the world. Okay.
Wow.
And she credits all of her success to one question her dad asked her at the dinner table when she was growing up. It wasn't like, what was the highlight of your week or what did you learn this week? No. Her dad would ask her every single week, what did you fail at this week?
Wow.
Which is really crazy to think, right? You're asking your child, what did you fail at? And when Sarah didn't have a clear answer, he would actually be disappointed. And when she had an answer, he would celebrate her, similar to this fourth grade teacher. And that lesson Sarah talks about basically made her the successful entrepreneur that she was, because as we know as entrepreneurs, the only way to succeed is to fail 100 times, 1,000,000 times before you can break into whatever you're trying to break
Yeah,
into.
what he was instilling in her was that real failure is not about the outcome. Real failure is in never trying.
Or giving up.
That's exactly. That's true failure. And I think to bring it back to everyday life, the reason I loved it so much is because I feel like when we are faced with failures in everyday life, we have a fail a funeral. We don't have a fucking fail-abration. We have a fail a funeral. We get really sad and upset and we dwell on it all day long as if we just went to a funeral ourselves.
Yeah.
And this idea of celebrating like a party, like I actually imagine someone like lifting their hands like, yes, I failed. Like it's so radical and so stupid and silly because it comes from a children's book that I just find it so helpful because it like
Well,
really
children's book have a ton of
it
wisdom,
breaks the
man.
pattern. It breaks the pattern.
I like
So
it.
let's wrap this up with a call to action. The call to action is very simple. It's have a fail-abration today. Have a fail-abration. Whenever something goes wrong, remember that failures are something beautiful to celebrate because they mean that you are trying, and more importantly than anything, they are meaning that you are learning.
You are in the arena.
You are in the arena. You are out of your comfort zone, which by default means that you are growing. So stop seeing your failures as something to be sad about. Stop having those fail funerals and have a freaking fail-abration.
I love it. This teacher has changed so many kids' lives, and now she's changed our lives, and hopefully
Yours too.
some people on the other end of this microphone. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Peace.